Ricky Thornton Jr. announced major plans for his 2025 season, including that he will indeed be competing on a national tour, as well as how he will compete in the Chili Bowl, given that the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series will begins its season the same week that the Chili Bowl is happening this year. Roll this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. Thornton shared all of this information in a post to Facebook where it looks like it wasn't written by him, but it was written by whoever is managing his account. And it read this: our Kohler Motorsports team has not made a decision as to which national tour we will race this year, though we will definitely compete on a full tour. I think that makes the most sense. You get so much of that tow money, all of the bonuses and everything that goes with competing on a tour, especially for Ricky Thornton Jr., who is clearly one of the top dirt late model drivers out there. I think he is in the top two between him and Bobby Pierce at this point in dirt late model racing. So I think that totally makes sense. It is interesting that he is not committing to either the World of Outlaws or the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And I think what makes this even more complicated is the fact that the Chili Bowl and Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series are having their events happening in the same week. And the Facebook post says that Ricky is going to try and compete in both events, but then depending on how well he is doing, whether with the Lucas Oil Series or at the Chili Bowl, is when they will decide on which one he will race on Saturday. And the post says this: Ricky will race his prelim Tuesday at Chili Bowl, then fly to Golden Isles to race the late model Wednesday through Friday, and both teams will make a decision as to where he will be on Saturday, depending on results. It's really special to be involved with two owners who are willing and excited for Ricky to have this opportunity, the post added. So I do think that is really interesting, and maybe this also could affect whether he decides to race with Lucas Oil or with the World of Outlaws. Obviously, Lucas Oil does indeed start, I think, about 10 days before the World of Outlaws starts. They start, again, was this like the 13th or the 14th, I think, of January. Whereas I think the World of Outlaws maybe start in like the 24th, the 23rd, around there, the week after. So that could also maybe play a factor in which series he decides to chase, how well he is doing on those. And that's not unheard of, right? We've seen this kind of take place year after year, where drivers will either decide to chase the World of Outlaws or chase the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, depending on how well they perform down there in Georgia, Florida Speedways. And that does look like maybe what Ricky Thornton Jr. and Kohler Motorsports will be doing. Finally, we also got this update here. Thornton will not be competing in the Wild West Shootout in Vado, New Mexico. Instead, he will be competing in the Tulsa Shootout. He's going to be competing in every single series there at the Tulsa Shootout. The two events do overlap. Tulsa Shootout taking place between December 30th and January 4th. Wild West Shootout happening from January 3rd to January 12th. Thornton will be racing, as I said, in all four divisions of the Tulsa Shootout. And the post said this: he's been working on building two new 10J micros and will race for Bernie and Betsy with any parts races in the Wing Outlaw division. The dates for the shootout are December 31st through January 4th, and streaming will be available on Flow Racing. So obviously, if you want to read the whole thing, I do have the Facebook post here on stockcarreport.com, which again, you can find the link on the description below. But huge news here from Ricky Thornton Jr. confirming that he will indeed be racing in one of the national tours, but he has not decided which one he will be racing for. And again, based on what we're seeing here, it does look like it could be conditional, right? Depending on how well he does with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and how well he does with the World of Outlaws after Georgia, Florida Speedweeks. And clearly, Chili Bowl could factor into this as well, because if he is doing really well at the Chili Bowl, he makes that a feature on Saturday. That would mean he would be missing out on a Lucas Oil race. So that would put him a race behind, and maybe not too difficult to make that up, but could mean that he decides to chase World of Outlaws because he is kind of one race behind. So we'll see how that works. But huge news here from Ricky Thornton Jr. Let me know what you guys make of all this. Which series would you want him to follow? Do you want him to follow World of Outlaws? Do you want him to follow Lucas Oil? Does it matter? Let me know in the comments below.